Hello, hello, hello. We're live. Um, Not a whole lot going on in the market today. Got a close eye on AVVH still. If you remember correctly, AVVH, I uh, I took at 505 here when it broke high a day, a little higher than I really wanted to get filled. I cut it here, 462, $170 loss. Been eyeing it. At this point, I had an order set for 498 right before it broke above 5 here, but didn't get filled, so I canceled that order. Still chilling. Still chilling. Just waiting for something to happen. Uh, Maybe AVVH works today, maybe it doesn't. But overall, OTCs are slow, so I don't have a whole lot of faith in that working. We'll keep an eye on it and see if it does. There's a pretty good sizable bid on 5 cents now, so there is some good support. But we'll see what happens. We be chilling. Yes, so there's not a whole lot going on right now. Welcome, welcome. Whoever is here with me. Not a whole lot going on right now. Um, just kind of waiting for something to happen. Maybe we get something this afternoon, maybe we don't. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions or are looking for any analysis or anything on any particular ticker, let me know, and I'd be happy to help you out with that. Um, yeah, so we're going through our scans, not really picking anything up. BBLG, that's an interesting look for a NASDAQ. Actually might keep that on watch as we get closer to the 2 o'clock hour. Um, it does have potential to be a VWAP bounce. I'm not really sure how I'd play it though, so I'm not super excited about that one. Zynga is getting bought out. They had that moves this morning. B now, ugly OTC, limited volume, things of that nature. Kind of take it out of the running for me. PSTI is another interesting look for a NASDAQ. I'm going to throw that up on watch on my upper screen and see what happens. If we can take out, if we can break 190, I'd probably take a trade on this. See what happens. Not a whole lot of range, but you know, 10 cents is 10 cents a share. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you're joining us on mobile, make sure that you change your settings. I know when I tried to check it out, it was 144p, which was absolute garbage. Looked like a potato. So needed to swap that to 1080, and then it's really, really sharp on mobile as well. I am going to attempt to put in a trade here on AVVH. I'm gonna try and get some. I want to split this spread, so I'm gonna put it in for 0.0495. Relatively small trade, so probably 20,000. Actually, gonna do 30,000. And we'll see if we get filled there. Might not, but that's okay. I don't want to enter around 5 again. So we're watching PSTI, we're watching BBLG, we're watching uh, AVVH, and we're watching TGGI. Um, if you have any more tickers that you want me to take a peek at, feel free to mention them in the comments. Again, if you're watching on mobile, make sure that you change your settings to 1080p. Mine was automatically set to 144p, and I looked like a potato. Obviously don't want to look like a potato. um, so PSTI, I'm looking for that to break 190, and then I might take a kind of a scalpy trade in that one. Watching BBLG, I don't really know how I'll play it, if I do play it. It's not something I'm super familiar with, so that one would be with small size. Maybe if we can get above that 637 level, be a decent trade, possibly. But it's not something I'm super comfortable with. AVVH, again, I've lost once on this today, but right now I'm looking to fill, and I just filled at 495 as a $1.5 million sell order appears on the ass. So that is not looking good. Looking like I'm going to have my second loss on that one today. But we'll hang out for just a second there and see what happens. Last time there was a million on the ask, it was actually right here. And it got taken out with one buyer. So maybe I'll get rescued by a buyer. Not 100% sure. Feel free to mention in the comments if you have any tickers that you would like me to take a peek at. I'd be more than happy to do that. Gotta move myself to the right over here. Yeah, so I just I'm not gonna cut AVVH yet, but it's getting driven into the ground again. Kind of a bummer. Right now I'm down $15. Now I'm down 42. Of course, I don't care about unrealized profit and gains. I'm gonna let it play out for how it should play out. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of a reversal here and start going back up. If not, then it's looking more and more like a double top on the day, and it's not gonna get much higher than that. Try again tomorrow, but we'll keep an eye on this one for now. AVVH. PSTI is still chopping around between 180 and 190. BBLG is still chopping around 625. We'll see what happens. Now this would be an afternoon breakout on AVVH. Looking at the yearly chart, we'll zoom in a little bit here. But you can see it's got some previous resistance in this level. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 days really in the past couple months that it's bounced off that 5-cent level. Sorry. So there is a very real possibility that there's too much resistance for that to break through today. If there is, then we'll play it again another day. Ba 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 ba. TGGI is a decent look this afternoon. If there was a volume surge, then I would probably enter. Right now we're just kind of chopping around near the high day. But I'd really have to see a nice volume candle to convince me to enter and take that trade. Just because it could go either way right now, and especially with the recent panics it has had, I do not want to get caught in one of those. PSTI is still chopping around. ADMP could be a VWAP bounce here as well, but I don't like how long it was under VWAP midday. Kind of a turn off, I guess, if you could call it that. Not much doing. BBLG is actually approaching 637 here. But the last time it approached it, it broke through it and then got stuffed real hard. This time it's kind of marching up, volume's starting to come back. Looks like it peaked over there a little bit now. Okay, we're going to see what happens here. If it breaks through it convincingly, then we'll take a trade. If it doesn't and it starts to go back the other way, then we're going to hold off. Now again, this is a NASDAQ stock, so it's not one I'm super confident in the setup. So probably only going to take 200 shares. If I do take it, about a $1,200 position. it rejected pretty hard there. That's not a good sign, unless it recovers quickly. If it recovers quickly, then we might be in okay shape. If it doesn't, then it's a no touchy for me. So it actually recovered pretty decently. Um, right back to 630s. We'll see what happens here. Looking at the history of this stock, obviously it didn't really trade before October, but it has a strong history of very wicky one-day runs. So that scares me a little bit, because that makes it seem like, hey, this is going to be wickier than it is now. But then again, it's never had the amount of volume that it does today. So it could be the biggest run it's ever had. And rejected again. Okay, I just entered there at 636, 200 shares. Not the greatest fill there, but we'll see what happens. Volume's still building, so there could be a decent upside to this one. And it starts going down. See, now I can't take a lot of size in NASDAQ because, choppiness like this, if I was in big size, like, I don't know, 1,000 shares, like a $6,000 position, then this would scare the ever-living crap out of me right now. So I have to keep my size small when I'm in NASDAQs in order to not get chopped out. I'd like to see 625 defend here. It didn't. Not a whole lot happening. We're in BBLG right now. We're watching it. I'm in at 636. Rather unfortunate execution there, right before a down tick. But we're watching it. It marched up from $6 area, and then broke its high at 637 for a little bit. So a relatively recent high, but this little stuff candle almost convinced me not to take it, but it recovered so strongly that I decided to take it. Volume's kind of fallen off a little bit here. Hopefully it will pick back up as we move into the 2 o'clock hour. A lot of traders are coming back from lunch. Hopefully it will pop up on some people's radars and we'll get more people interested in it. I just added 100 shares at 630. So now I have 300 shares from a 634 average. I'm also long right now in AVVH still. AVVH, I am long from 495, 30,000. Looking like I'm down $27 right now, unrealized of course. You can see some resistance on level 2 walking VBLG down right now. There's a 100 size order. That's times 100 as well, so it's 10,000 shares. If we can eat through that, then we might be blue skies ahead. There's some pretty strong resistance right now at 630 though. Some of these shoots, the gap there, the spread to 629. They're still shooting the gap, walking it down a little bit. Volume's drying up even more, which is not the greatest sign. Unless it can hold up on low volume. If it can hold up on low volume, then that's a good sign of strength, in that the sellers are out. So my current risk level is 610. You can see on that red candle, I get down to like 611, 612. And I don't really want to risk much lower than that. I almost broke through 630 there. We got some bidders stepping up, and then a seller steps down to 629. One little volume surge would take out 630 and I think give us some clearer skies ahead. There we go, 630, more size comes in on the sell, but it's getting bought up right now. There we go, we're up to 632. And we're back under 630. It wasn't a strong rejection though, and it seems to be holding up pretty decent. More volume starting to come in. Looking a little more decent right now. We're going to take a peek at AVVH. My other long position right now. This one's just kind of chopping around. 487 by 493. Hopefully we'll get a volume surge closer to 2 and maybe even a power hour run. That would be cool. BBLG still tightening up on this little wedge. You can see I'm kind of drawing a little bit of a wedge here, just to give me an idea of where it's tightening up. Not necessarily if it breaks below it while I cut. I'm going to maintain my risk level right now of 610. Be about a $90 loss for me, somewhere right in that neighborhood. We're back above 630, at least temporarily. Looks like we might be getting some momentum built here. We'll see if it stuffs or if it can keep going. Looks like it's going to stuff again. There's some heavy resistance, heavy selling pressure here. Oh, there we go. We got a nice little pop. Touching the 640s. So ideally, I want to see this test the high of day, which is 678. There's a lot more volume then, but we'll see if we can get some volume incoming. Looks like it got a little bit of a leg up there, and just like that, we're back under 630. See, these NASDAQ stocks are pretty fluid. They can go up and down pretty quick. I get chopped out a lot. That's why I keep my size small. Oh, that was a rough cut. Yeah. We're going to see if it holds down here. If it does, I'm going to cut. If we start getting a nice recovery, then I will not cut. Looks like we're going to recover decent. If we can't get above 620 here, might reconsider. There we go. I just added 100 shares at 622. New average 400 shares at 631. Just kind of watching the price action now. See what's going on. If we start failing in the upper teens here, probably gonna cut it. It's not looking too promising right now. Wasn't that strong of a recovery after that stuff. Went down the wrong pipe a little bit. I just cut there. It failed in the high teens. Was a $80 loss, unfortunately. Nothing happening today. I'm probably gonna call it there. Still have my AVVH position, which is also losing money. Trying to force trades today in a market that you can't do it. So this is probably it for me, at least for the day. All right, we'll catch you guys later.